is a holographic society? To start, the name means that it includes everything and everyone equally. There are as many variants of holographic society as there are cultures. Not only that, but within the same culture there will be variants according to the needs of the region in the same culture. The main premise and the most important one is this: the more consciousness a people has, the less government it needs. It is inversely proportional. When a town has all the resources it needs and has empathy for the peers and the members within it, when it is known that everyone is connected as it is in a small community, what affects you affects everyone. Therefore, abuses among themselves will be minimal to non-existent. So, you do not need a government that imposes rules on that population, because they already follow their own rules and go well. With the premise of freedom and own responsibility, both individually and collectively. The model of holographic society most used, and that is also that of Taygeta, is the so-called stepped political holographic system, Andromeda model. In this type of society, there is a series of councils that go from a small one of a town to another of a group of populations, to a region, to a group of regions, to another planetary council, and finally to a great council that represents all civilization, like High Council of Taygeta. What is a council? It is a group of people who gather around a table, usually round, or without a table, sitting in a circle where you can see the face all equally. They are composed of members of the general population freely. That is, anyone can ask to be part of the council either in general or only for the discussion in turn about a particular issue. Or by consensus of the same council, one or more people may be asked to intervene in the discussion for the reason that they are involved in the topic, or because they present themselves as experts in the subject. Any citizen of a culture can be a member of the council, including children, as they have very good ideas and are very welcome. When the problem exceeds the solution capacity of the council of a town or region, it will proceed to seek help from the following council, that includes the town or region that submits the petition. That is, it is in their jurisdiction. This continues until you reach the High Council of the species or culture. That is why it is said that it is stepped. Thank you. I imagine that those of the council have to live in each town where each council is. For example, could an Andromedan be a part of your council? You could participate if you have something to contribute. But if you don't live in the population that presents the problem, which is taking an action decision, it will be taken into account but will not have the same weight as those who live there. Priority. I imagine that being a society without money, one cannot be corrupted or bribed. That's right. It is the same with crime. If you can have what your neighbor has, why steal? Does this society never impose anything on its citizens? That is, do they have all the rights but zero obligations? They are not taken as obligations, only as things that should be done. For example, at the most basic level, that would be the council of a small town, information. The people who live there will all work for a common good, like digging ditches for irrigation, putting drainage pipes, or building houses for people. Everyone helps each other. Yes, it can happen that a council imposes something if something is not going well, but it is minimal. At the beginning of the formation of that town, there is a lot of work, but as you move forward and begin to put the pieces in their places, as well as the implementation of automated systems, then people will progressively start to have more free time. All under the concept that they help the community doing what they do best. I am a loner and I don't like to live in communities. What would happen to people like that, who want to live away from others, in solitude, isolation, not interacting with other people a lot? There are many people like that, especially in Taygeta. The society is already very settled, and they are not considered as parasites or anything. You can be as you want to be. You will always contribute something to the community. We don't have police. What we have is something comparable to rescue services or firefighters that are multi-purpose, the so-called SAR, or search and rescue. Okay, thank you. I have a question. Above you talked about the rules, that they are not imposed, that everyone knows what is good for the community. What happens if many different ideas come out among the members about what is good for the community? It's that each person knows what those rules are for, not as an imposition, but for welfare reasons in general. But what is welfare for one may not be the same for another. The board will debate until an agreement is reached. In Taygeta, with telepathy, there is a lot of empathy. Differences of opinion are not handled as on Earth. You speak from a human terrestrial context. It doesn't happen like that here. Then the council reaches the conclusion together. Okay, and what happens if any member of society still disagrees with the decision of the council? Can one be rebellious and do something else to their liking? As long as it doesn't hurt anyone or go against the rights of third parties, they can do what they want. Okay, I understand. And what relationship does the holographic society have with royalty? Royalty in Taygeta is a genetic or family line that is very old, and they have always worked for the good of society within the framework of the Holographic Council. They are characterized by being exemplary in their judgment and in their morals. They are like icons that represent a whole people as compressed in a single person. And what about ethics and morals? Is it accepted by all equally? As expected, it differs, but the basis here is that people have another base mentality. It is the mentality of the people that is the key to a holographic society. Then there is a concept of respect for others, even if we do not agree. This translates to what I said before, that we cannot impose our criteria on the people of the earth and their ideas and reasons to be as they are, to incarnate, to suffer, or for whatever reason. Because we know that it obeys more expanded plans and concepts. It is the mentality of the people that is the key to a holographic society. What are the key elements of this mentality? I cannot answer that question short. You already know it, because it is the sum of everything you have learned in a year and 4 months of contact with us. I could write for hours, but I would not reach the description of what you already know. Is the holographic society prevalent in the universe? Yes, there are variants, but the most accepted one is the stepped Andromedan model. And is it the one that you will introduce to Earth? No, we will not introduce it, as that would be imposition. We can only offer the alternative. I understand. Not everyone will have the ability to understand how it works. What they lack in a holographic society they can have. If not, then it would be fabricable. Or in itself, it would be a point to work together for a collective as well as an individual advance. Additionally, the concept of me first is very anchored on Earth. There is a lot of duality. Here, the concept of you and the self is thinning. One is amalgamating and understanding that in truth we are all one. Can a holographic society be implemented on a planet without natural resources or trade with other ET races? Yes, but they would need the support of other races in a worst-case scenario. And it has been done. It's that the advantage that you have is very great. One race, one language. Look at us. Yes, there are variants of Taygetan, but they are minimal, and most people understand them all. So many languages are to cause separation, like everything else. How did the distinction of so many languages on Earth happen? Is it because different races have implemented them? Or how exactly did the languages differ? Where do they come from? It is mostly because people were isolated in the first place. Because from the human aspect or point of view, communication and interaction between peoples was always difficult because of the distance and the difficulty to transport themselves. From there, they took the most pronounced external influences and converted it over time into a language based on a previous one. This by design of the controllers. Each language comes from a previous one, or from the combination of several languages. Some, not all, have extraterrestrial roots, and the human population doesn't know it. And what was the previous of the previous one? Was there any first language? Lyrian, I suppose. But Taygetan, as such, is hundreds of thousands of years old and is the base for the Navajo language. Sumerian is based on Usungal language, Anunnaki. All this very interesting, and I would like to deepen this one day. No problem. We will talk more. Until next time, and thank you.